Hello and welcome to PopScrap.com and our Weigh and Pay solutions. Today we're going to take a look at the Texas Cash Card law that just went into effect on September the 1st. And I'd like to kind of show you how our current customers are utilizing our new cash card logic. Cash cards, of course, could be created by simply going to any customer that's on file, typing in the name, hitting the search, and then you can go over to the edit button and you can create these aside from your ticket process. You do not need to be in the middle of a ticket to create a cash card. You can create these during the day or at the end of the day, or we've of course integrated it into your ticket process, which I'll show you in this video. So you can see here that I've added a customer file, and you can see here's the customer information that we have on file. I can go to cash card and I can request a new cash card, in which case it's going to prompt me for the fingerprint, signature, and the face shot, and then we can just print a cash card. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and create a cash card. We're going to go ahead and take a picture. This is the image that's going to be used, so you might want to make sure your camera is positioned properly. And then we'll go ahead and start the fingerprint process of grabbing the fingerprint from the customer. And we'll do the same for the signature. Have the customer sign and hit next. Now we've already recorded the cashier signature, which needs to be printed on the application itself. So you can see here, cash card application for Stacy Duty created. What would you like to do? I would like to print the application. So these applications, of course, are stored electronically. There really technically is no need to print these applications, but if we go like this, you can see here that we have an application printed, and you can see the fingerprint and the signature of the cashier, the signature of the customer. It's signed and dated, and this can be printed at any time. So most of our yards are not printing these. They're simply stored electronically with all the correct information on the application itself. So keep in mind, these do not need to be printed. You do not need to waste the paper. And of course, we can then print the cash card as well if we want to print a physical cash card to our Zebra printer. Now let's go ahead and go back. Now that's how you print a cash card outside of the ticket loop. Of course, I could save this customer to the ticket, in which case I could start a regular ticket, and I will show you how we can process the ticket. So you'll notice this customer is already cash card 1013. So let's go ahead and release this customer from the ticket. If we were going to build a ticket, we of course would enter the gross weight, the tare, the price, and we would select another commodity, and we would do the same thing. Now the program is designed to do both buy and sell. So of course we could sell a battery. If we wanted to sell a battery by the pounds, we could sell a battery for 30 cents a pound, and you'll notice you can buy and sell on the same ticket. And so it'll use a minus line item because it took $13 away from the total, which is $202. At this point, of course, we could scan the driver's license by simply clicking the Scan ID button at the top. Now this activates the ID scanner, and if the customer is on file, which this one is, it'll go ahead and populate the customer on the ticket. And you'll notice this customer already has cash card 1011. The other way that we've integrated this, if we release it, is we could go like this, and you could enter in 1011, and it'll automatically put the customer on the ticket. Now, we've also integrated on the cash cards a barcode. So you can use a barcode scanner instead of typing in the cash card number, whichever is simpler and easier for your staff. Now, of course, if we had a new customer that simply did not have, was not on the system, let's go ahead and see if we can find another customer in our database that maybe doesn't already have a cash card. So how do you know a customer doesn't have a cash card? Well, we have a report in Boss that you can run to show you who has one. You can also notice these two are grayed out, which means this customer does not have a cash card yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this customer on the ticket, and we're going to go ahead and pay the ticket out, print and pay, and now we're going to validate the customer file. Now, of course, it's asking to take a customer image in the ticket payout process. So you want to make sure you get a good image because this is the one that's going to be used on your cash card or your customer identification card. So you can see here how it takes the photo. We can refresh it if we need to get a better photo, and you can get the customer a little closer if you need to get them closer and get a good picture like that. So from here, you can go ahead and hit start. We're going to go ahead and capture the customer fingerprint, which is also going to be used on the ticket for compliance, but it's also going to be used on the cash card. We're going to go ahead and do the same with the signature. It's then going to prompt us. We're then going to get the signature and use that on the cash card and on the ticket. If it's the first time the customer came, of course, you cannot pay cash. You need to pay by check. So if we're going to pay by check, we'll select the check payment. We can create a new card, create a cash card. We're going to go ahead and create a new one. So, and you can see here that this is telling me that my customer file doesn't have the correct information in it. And so if we go back into the customer file, you'll notice that it doesn't have an address. So let's go ahead and just put an address in there, and let's put a city, a test city, and let's go ahead and select the state that it needs to be on. Now, normally this is done through the ID scanning process, but I did not finish the ID scan on this customer that was in our test database. So let's go ahead and give them an expiration date. Let's go ahead and give them a birth date of 1995, and then we can give them an issue date of the ID was issued in 2010, and then let's go ahead and save that and go back to our ticket. So the program automatically, for compliance purposes, double checks the customer file, make sure that everything is in compliant, make sure the customer is of the right age. And of course, if we had our plate number turned on for the vehicle plate, it would automatically prompt us for that as well. I don't have that turned on as an automatic compliance feature in this one, but you can see here that I didn't have the required sex, male or female. And that's, of course, because that's required. And so if I go back to the ID data, you'll notice under here it should have said M for male. And so we keep track of all these items for the cash card application and the cash card itself. So we'll return. And this is a good example of what might happen if you had an incomplete customer file. The program will not let you complete a ticket and create a cash card unless it's in full compliance. And that's our guarantee to all of our customers, is to give you a full compliant cash card system. And so you can see here how we have highlighted this, and there's the photo we took and the fingerprint, and it fills out all the data. And of course we have a signature of the cashier, signature of the customer, and all the required information on the cash card application. And again, this does not need to be printed. It's stored electronically and can be printed at any time it's required to be printed. So save the paper, save your printer, save the ink, and just know that these are stored in your database electronically. And of course, we could print the cash card. We can continue out with that payment and print and pay the check. So that's about how simple it is. A lot of information in there. It usually goes a lot faster, obviously, when we're not doing a demo video. But I just kind of wanted to give you a good idea of what it looked like and how you can create cash cards outside of the ticket, or how you can create cash cards during the ticket. And so you can hear there that my ticket has now been printed and the customer check is now being printed as well. And of course, I don't have a check printer in process. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. And remember, PopScrap. So advanced, it's simple.